Mr. Deputy Speaker, thank you for allowing me to move this resolution. The resolution is that this House do now resolve to constitute an inquiry commission to study the manner of implementation of Jal Jeevan mission in the state of Meghalaya.
You may initiate the discussion.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the subject and topic of JJM has been discussed time and again, and I believe all the honorable members in this august House will be able to feel different experiences in relation to their respective constituencies. And when I say experiences, I mean some of the experiences are unpleasant when it comes to the standard of implementation of the Jal Jeevan mission. Why I say that is because there is a lot of disparity and gaps between the government records and what we see in the ground reality. Even in my own constituency, when I see that it is not properly completed, whereas the contractors receive the complete bill, that pains me a lot. On this very same topic, the MLA from North Shillong 2 days ago brought a short duration discussion that is on the 20th of this month. And that short duration discussion was, quote, actual physical status of JJM in the state vis-a-vis progress declared by the government and which is recorded in the JJM online web portal, unquote. So JJM scheme in the state of Meghalaya runs into, if not thousands, I know it'll be hundreds of crores of rupees. And as legislators who represent people, we expect that the implementation of JJM should be at least, if not 100%, up to the mark it should be. Now many villages in different places, the degree of their frustration is increasing day by day. Why I say that? That anger is clearly shown, sir, by some NGOs going to the Lok Ayukta court in the state. I will quote an example. On the 4th of February 2024, the Shillong Times ran one headline. The headline reads, quote, Lok Ayukta orders investigation into Neki Kona JJM scheme, unquote. That was the headline in the Shillong Times. Now, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, should all the villages go through the Lok Ayukta to get redressal to their grievances? I feel that is not the way. Every village do not have the privilege to have a lawyer amongst their group. The Neki Kona JJM scheme that went to the Lok Ayukta were lucky to have a lawyer amongst their group. That group is called the Garo Hills Youth Organization. So they went ahead. My question to this august House, through you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, is the Lok Ayukta the only way to rectify the lapses in the JJM scheme? If that is the case, this august House is doing a disservice to the people if it cannot rectify the defects in the JJM scheme. And the JJM scheme is sanctioned on behalf of the people. I feel it is the duty of this House to set up mechanism to check how really the implementation is done. Sir, while bringing this resolution in the House, it is clear in my mind also, it's not that I just blame the implementing agency, that is the PHE department. It is clear in my mind that there is work done. In my constituency and in many other constituencies, work is done, or it is seen as done. But Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the most important part of implementing JJM is water in the pipes, which is missing. So that is why the objectives, when JJM was declared, I went through that mission document of the scheme, the mission and the objectives. And one of the catchy abbreviation that I found in the scheme is the FHTC, Functional Household Tap Connection. Functional means when we open the tap, there should be water trickling down to our buckets or mugs. That is missing. And there are many instances, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, where villages, I don't know whether it is there in the guidelines within the department, there are many interior villages where pipes were connected and used with plastic pipes. And the sad part is, those plastic pipes were left overground. And in the villages, when there is a jungle fire, the fire runs non-stop. And when it gets plastic pipes to run through, it burns much more. Then what happens to the water supply? There's no more water. And another catchy word under the JJM scheme is sustainability. Now, if you fit a plastic pipe that burns, where is that sustainability factor within the JJM? I would like also, sir, to stress through you, all the members, be it in the ruling or the opposition side, when it comes to inspection or assessment of the progress of the work under JJM, most of us would like to be part of the team that inspect. But sad to say, if you read the Highland Post, it is an e-paper, Highland Post of 6 November 2023, it runs one headline like this, quote, "Government accused of sidelining Meghalaya MLA from JJM review," unquote. The question is why? Are they afraid that the particular MLA will demand that it has to be done properly? Are they afraid that the scheme should be 100% implemented with taps in the water? Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, November was the turn of MLA from Meghalaya to be sidelined. Tomorrow it could be my turn. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow it could be somebody else's. So this, I feel, should not be done. In the MGNRGA, or Manrega that we call in short, there is a mechanism put in place, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, to assess the quality of work, and that is called the social audit mechanism. What is the harm? Now, according to my resolution here, JJM being such a big flagship program of the central government, where crores and crores of money is being pumped into our state, with its scale of funding, it deserves nothing short of an independent inquiry, sir. This is what I demand, and I believe all members of this House will agree to this. Unless we have an independent inquiry commission, we will not be able to know the exact ground realities of the implementation of JJM in different parts of the state. Where I stay, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I can 100% say that there are pipes and taps in the village where I stay, but there is no water. That is also JJM. I can name so many villages where there is total failure. So through you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I would like to ask this House certain pertinent questions. Number one, should this House turn a blind eye to the disgraceful implementation of JJM scheme? Should we turn a blind eye? Number two that I want to ask question here is, are we not elected to this August House to respond to the aspirations of the people? Through you, Deputy Speaker, sir, the point or the question number three that I want to ask this August House is it not the duty of each and every member of this House to ensure that the schemes are fully implemented as per objectives of the scheme? Are those not pertinent questions, sir? JJM in Meghalaya, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, will be accepted as satisfactorily implemented only under one condition. And that condition is if we add a prefix before FHTC. And that prefix should be N. I will tell you why. The report of completion of JJM should read like this. FHTC component of JJM is fully implemented in Meghalaya as NFHTC has been satisfactorily done and completed 100%. What is N? N is non-functional household tap connection. If they add that N, we will agree that it is nicely implemented. But if that is not agreeable, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I would like to request through you, in view of all the points that I have mentioned, it is very important and the need of the hour to constitute an independent inquiry commission to review or to study the implement of JJM mission in Meghalaya. With these few words, sir, I move that this resolution be accepted by the House. Thank you.
To support the resolution brought by the Honourable MLA from Umsning, Dr. Celestine Lyngdoh. Sir, JJM was conceived to supply water to each and every household in the country, not only in the state, sir. We were very happy because a lot of our hamlets, villages, even in the urban centers, still do not have household tap connection to their household. Sir, I understand the minister has just taken over. When the scheme was implemented, he was not the minister, the Honourable MLA from William Nagar. So maybe at the planning stage, he was not there. So maybe when the scheme is, on the verge of being completed, he took over as PHE. We can understand, sir, his predicament. So, sir, that's why we brought this resolution. Perhaps for the government to appeal to the central government to maybe extend this program. Because, sir, when I interacted with some of the engineers of the PHE, for example, I asked how much water is eligible to each household. They said 55 liters per head per day. So I just asked, for example, in the place where I stay, sir, village in 5th mile of Shillong, have you taken the population into consideration? The amount of water that is required, the amount of water that is being supplied at present, nothing was done, sir. So whether the adequate, a present adequate supply, supply of water is adequate or not, and with the implementation of JJM, whether we can meet the requirement as per norms of the JJM guideline or specification. Sir, I'm telling you, sir, as the Honourable Member stated, we will not get water, sir, as specified in the JJM guideline, 55 liters per head per day. Sir, if you have a village with just 10,000 population or 1,000 population, the requirement of water is huge. That was not considered. So I understand the minister was not there when this scheme was conceived. Somebody else was there. But all this should have been taken into consideration before preparing the DPR, sir. Then we could have ensured that when the scheme is completed, people get the water that is meant for them. That's why, sir, I appeal to the government if, you institute an inquiry commission to look into this aspect also. Otherwise, it would be a waste of huge investment of the government of India and of the state government also. So, for example, now you see that, maybe an afterthought that bore wells are being done now. How much water can you draw out from bore wells? You cannot ascertain, sir, the amount of water that can be drawn out unless you have a perennial, supply of water. And all this should be done at the lean period. At the lean period to ensure the discharge of water is sufficient to meet the requirement that is meant for the people. Now, bore wells, sir, suppose it dries up. What happens? And we are living in a hilly region, sir, where the whatever you call it, hydrology or whatever it is, it's not, permanent. It's not certain that they can meet the water that is required. Yes, bore wells are being done. But how can you ensure that the amount of water that is required can be pumped out of those bore wells? So, sir, I request that if this can be reviewed and perhaps maybe some kind of revised estimate and, locate the source of water to ensure that in the next 5-10 years, people will get the benefit from the scheme. Otherwise, sir, it will just be a huge waste of investment where people will not get benefit of water through GJM scheme. For example, I'm just giving you, sir, we have been discussing about, and I'm happy that the Chief Minister said, they're going to invest about almost more than 300 crores to preserve the catchment areas of Umyo Basin and Ganol Basin. So all this should have been considered. Perhaps through the JJM we could have got more money, not only these two basins, but maybe other basins in the whole of the state to ensure that adequate supply of water is supplied to the people in the next 5 to 10 years, if not more, at least 5 to 10 years. So, sir, maybe, this resolution is brought at the right time before this, the completion of this project, and maybe we can appeal to the government of India, if possible, to extend and then, do due diligence to replan the whole project, ensure that each and every hamlet, each and every village, whether it be in the, I believe this is meant only for the rural areas, I don't know if it is meant for the urban centers, so that, all the villages get piped water to their households, sir. And sufficient piped water, because now we're getting reports in some villages that if you implemented this project, so they're getting very, very little water, very little supply of water. Because earlier, you have a village tap where people draw water from the village tap or the community tap. Now when water is supplied, all the water is supplied to each and every household, they get very little water. Because some may draw water because of the terrain, topography of our region, some get less, some get more. So, sir, I think this resolution is brought with the intention, to ensure that this project really benefits the people of the state. Otherwise, the investment will be a waste. With this few words, I support the resolution brought by the Honourable Member, Dr. Celestine from Lyngdoh. Thank you, sir. I resume the seat.
Any other member?